Hey, it's us once again. In my stomach. It's me, JT.
And Mike B.
And Mike B. We're here for another Iyanla episode. We got another couple. On the rocks somewhat. I'm trying to think. Let me look. Sophia. They have a daughter who is 18, who's about to go to college in a week or so. And she wrote Iyanla and told him that, that her I wouldn't say her family falling apart. Her mother and father seemed like, things ain't good. Plus, her mama in her ear talking about, I might be getting divorced and be talking to a lawyer and whatnot. Which seems somewhat weird that you told your 18-year-old daughter. I can see
and
the
13-year-old, she said. The 13-year-old was there.
Yeah. And I'm telling you talking to, I don't know.
Kids about grown folks' problems.
Grown folks, yes.
You know what? That's how they try to get the kids on their side, You
think that's what it is?
Yeah. Most definitely. You see, she didn't talk to the son.
The son only like 4 years old. And damn it. He probably would have said, I want applesauce. And that's it. That's what he got from me.
He's not special. Don't you want more than applesauce at 4? Can you talk at 4?
You can talk, but that's what he wants. No. Yeah, you should get that lawyer, mama. Nah, he ain't gonna.
What's a lawyer?
Saying that. Huh?
He gonna say, what's a lawyer?
Pretty much. And so they're there in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina. And so Iyanla comes, talks to the daughter, and basically the daughter, tells her what's been going on. And she said, I don't want my brother and sister, once I go to college, to fend for themselves. I guess she probably semi-taking over the parents' role as far as emotionally, to me, how I saw it. Because the parents are basically emotionally abandoning the kids. Dad goes into his room, and I don't know, until mama wants to talk about the divorce, her problems, she don't talk to the kids.
That's what it seems like.
That's what I get.
Yeah.
And so Iyanla comes and they talk, and then the mother and father, do they come out?
Yeah.
Yeah, Andre and April, and basically, ask them like what's going on and what the problems that they having, and one of the things that we found out was Andre had an affair. It wasn't like physical. It was emotionally, and like Iyanla said, that's probably even worse for women. Because if a dude, I wouldn't like it, but y'all didn't fuck, so dude's like, oh, okay, we just don't talk to dude no more. But for women, they take that to heart. Once you confide in another woman, and
I think it's even worse because he's not really confiding in her. So
it's another woman. You telling your problems, I guess your fears or whatever.
I would like to know, like, when he was having this little online relationship or whatever you call it with this other woman, like, what was different? Like, why couldn't he talk to his wife about whatever? It seemed like
but it's hard to talk to somebody and tell them.
It's hard to talk to the problem.
Yeah, pretty much. Y'all having problems because he can talk to somebody else. He probably not getting the judgment. That comes along with talking to the wife,
Yeah. I can see that.
You have any more thoughts? Because I can't think of else what they talked about when they first got together.
Oh.
As far as that,
No.
And so she takes the husband and wife to the courthouse, and she was like, "Do y'all know what they do here?" And wife like, divorces, marriages, judge, or whatever. And she said, well, this is where y'all going. Obviously, you told your daughters, you got the lawyer and whatnot, and basically this is where y'all headed. Do y'all really want this? And and the husband like, well,
he's like, if she wants
it, but I don't want it,
And that's this whole episode, he was very, very passive about pretty much everything, and I think that was a part of their issue, because he wouldn't just like Iyanla just kept asking him questions that he would never just answer. Like with a straight up answer, he would kind of beat around the bush,
or the wife would answer for him.
Yeah, or he'll answer in a roundabout way. You know, do you love her?
I have love in my heart.
Yeah.
For her.
What woman wants to hear that? This is your wife. I can understand it was just like your friend that you maybe, or an ex-girlfriend or something like that that cheated on you, and then she ended up passing away. So you kind of feel some kind of way.
I got love in my heart
for her. But you don't say that about your wife. That's not a good look. Which leads me to believe that he really has some issues that he needs to deal with, or
I think he checked out emotionally.
Yeah, I feel like he don't like her. That's how I was feeling. He was over her.
Well, I think it's because how when we find out later. I mean, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
As far as
let's go off script, JT.
Let's go off script. We find out, that she's really emasculating him. You know, and Iyanla told her, you basically wearing the pants. Take his pants off and let him wear the pants in the house. You don't be the man.
I feel like she probably wouldn't allow him to make, and this is all speculation. I feel like she don't allow him to really make decisions. She want him to make decisions, but if he tried, then she either vetoes it or whatever. So he's gotten to the point where whatever you say goes. I'm not here.
Because you're gonna probably veto it anyway.
Yeah, because
so why?
Why care?
And
that's the whole attitude I got from him this whole episode. Anything that he was being asked, he could care less about it. We found out that he was feeling abandoned because he was telling everybody that he grew up in foster care. And
that's what his daughters.
That's what his daughters knew about.
I know he's a foster child, and that was pretty much the number one thing. And that's pretty much it. I'm out.
I don't know. I guess if that's we learned that he never stopped dealing with that. He felt like his mom didn't love him, his dad didn't love him. He was being raised by his great
aunt and great uncle.
Yeah.
I mean, great aunt and great uncle. And his uncle passed away when he was 5, and so he was basically raised by his auntie. And she's like, now who is this? And he was like, well, then my mama. Then why are you going around talking about nobody loved you, and that nobody cared, that you were abandoned, that you were a foster kid? You can't say that when you calling somebody your mama,
and saying that they cared about you, they raised you. I feel like if you're abandoned, you basically like a locky kid. You go home and you fix your own ramen noodles. And you go to school. You got to get your brothers and sisters. I mean, that's when you could possibly
really
argue that you've been abandoned. But in his case, I didn't really see it. And then we found out later in the episode, after the little, y'all know how Iyanla do with couples. When they were having issues, she likes to send the man away.
Every episode.
He went to the hotel.
You got a bag? Why? Because you going to a hotel tonight, man. I'm like,
you got to get out. Go pack a bag. So he leaves and he gets an opportunity to see what life would be like without her around. And she got to, see the same. I felt like she probably handled it a little bit better than she wanted to admit.
Yeah.
She was trying to make it seem like, oh, well, I missed him. But I really don't feel that she missed him. She probably was like,
undertone was, boy, I had the bed off to myself.
No stress. I ain't got to worry about him moping around here. So, woe is me, grown ass man.
Well, it was just the opposite for him. Oh, man, I already know without 24 hours being away, I can't deal with that.
Yeah, he said he didn't want to, leave his wife and have to either stay in a hotel or stay in an apartment without his family being there. He didn't want to deal with that. But also he found, he said he called a social services or something, and found out that
he was never a foster
They had no record of him being in foster care. And
who told him that in the first place? That's what I want to know.
Wait, who told him that? But then also, who recommended that? Why don't you try calling social? I would have never thought.
He was happy about it too, and that's why I want to know. I'm like, somebody must have told him.
Somebody whispered in his ear.
Kept it in his ear. And while growing up, that he was a foster kid. He was that auntie.
Yeah, because his auntie didn't love him.
No, I'm not talking about the one that raped.
No, she said, I ain't your real mama. Your real mama gave you up. You was a foster kid. It then turned out his auntie was really his mama. She didn't like it.
This ain't no Tyler Perry movie.
Now, she needed him to have a story, even though that story was sad. depressing. But you know, he's a man. He's supposed to be able to grow up and grow out of it. But that's not. It's not that easy.
With it.
And with them being in the military, you would think he'd be more disciplined and more assertive.
I think that was for her because the wife was in the military.
Yeah, it worked. Military worked for her.
It worked too much.
He seemed like he got, because they met in the military. He seemed like he got broken.
It broke him down. It built her ass too much. You know, when the women bodybuilders do too much, that's her attitude towards him, and I guess men. They never really told her story, so I'm thinking she probably got some men issues, probably. As far as she might have like a few episodes ago, like the mother raised up her daughters to be, you know, strong women, really. You know, and but they were more like beating down the men. I forgot what episode it was. It was. It's neither here nor there. But you know, I think she has a story too, which they really didn't delve into.
We didn't really have time to go into anything. It's like 40 minutes into the show. And I'm like, we ain't got nowhere.
We still with him having, you know, my daddy left and everything else.
He also shared with us that he thought about committing suicide, just ending it.
He was just, I think he was just a wounded person.
He was broke. That's what you call broken. And then to not have, you know, you're broken, and then you have this wife that is wanting you to be the man, waiting on you to just basically take over and put her in her place, and then be somebody that she can rely on to be, you know, protective. I felt like she thought she had to take on that role,
and she snipped the last nut that he had, and so the man was walking around with no balls, and that's a sad way to be with, you know.
Y'all told him, you know, take off give him his pants back.
Give him his balls back, goddammit. Get a man his balls back.
You just emasculated him, and then I felt like if that was my wife, I'm out. Like,
but I mean, but you got kids.
People always talk about staying for the kids.
Plus,
forget them kids.
Well, you never know, might be until the kids in the situation.
You don't want to just forget the kids.
Nah, might be in for the kids. And plus, you know, he said he didn't grow up with a father.
Right. He doesn't want to repeat that cycle.
You know, which is understandable. But then, you know, Iyanla said, what if a good thing would be that they separate? You know, she said that to the daughter at the beginning. And so sometimes, you know, separation is good for the family because it might just make it worse if two people that don't like each other in the same house.
Because you know what? Believe it or not, I can see if she continues to beat this man down like she does, even though she probably doesn't see it or think it's as damaging as it is. You've been married to this man for over 20 years, and this is the product. I mean, you have a child here. This is not your husband, so I can see him like one day just flipping out, and then, you know, actually either hurting her or
flipping out.
Yeah,
that's one of the ones with the gun, with the military folk.
Yeah, I can see him like hauled up in like a closet or something, and with a gun,
try to hide the wife or something type deal. You know, then
and that's not
60 Minutes. That whole deal. I can see that.
That's not a good look.
But it's not a good look. You know, just give the man his balls back, and you know, and that'll work at least half the time. You know, give him something. She
wasn't giving him nothing. She was always right. She didn't even let the man tie his own shoes. No, she wasn't that bad. But I mean, I don't know.
But she flipped it on us at the end. She like, you know what? It seems like we going through all of this, and she's still trying to, you know, beat whatever Iyanla beats into him. You know, and do this. But you know, time was wasting down. And like, you know like what?
15 minutes left of the show.
I think you two really love each other. I'm like, hell no. She must have saw the time.
The producer was like, hey,
it's about that time. The
so
buzz
she
is running.
A quick way to turn it around, because I didn't see that coming at all.
She was just fussing at the wife 20 minutes ago. Oh, what you gonna do?
She just fussed at her like 5 minutes ago. Then the husband pulled up.
You know, I think there's still some love between you two. I'm like, what the hell? How did that turn?
Yeah, where that love come from?
And that's what I told you. I was like, they're the turn.
They're the turn.
They knew it, you know, we only got so much time.
We had to resolve this episode somehow.
And so, hopefully, you know, they did. She told him like,
60 days.
60 days. Go out once a week, something like that,
and counseling and
talk to each other in the face, look each other in the eye, type deal, and you know,
stuff that you would think is like common sense. But I feel like after you've been in a relationship for such a long period of time, you forget about the little things that used to kind of excite.
And that's what keeps a marriage. The little things might be, you know, the big things, like, you know, that's once in a while, but the little things
that's
is
birthdays only.
I hope not. God damn it. That's a bad marriage.
I already know my marriage gonna be on the rocks.
You expecting it.
So don't be coming up this Valentine's Day. It ain't your birthday, is it? You better go on. I'll throw some candy hearts at you. I'm not that bad.
Gonna throw you some Vaseline. Happy Valentine's Day, go. But and then she said if that doesn't work, you know, then they're gonna try out separation. Yeah. You know, because something got to give. But she don't think you know it.
I mean, but honestly, do you think she really believes their situation can work out?
It seemed like if they can get it out their own way, you know, him not having a pity party about
the wife didn't. I feel like she didn't really want to like admit
like it was in wrongdoing, and you know,
but
it was some wrongdoing in her.
That's
part.
how it goes.
And that's usually the person that's doing wrong don't realize that they're doing wrong.
She didn't see the part that she is playing in his beatdown. Iyanla said, "Take the gloves off, girl." It's you. You the problem.
The man been crying. He's opening up.
And he's looking at other avenues to see why he can't just man up and be who he's supposed to be, and he's blaming it on his parents. And it's the wife.
It's the secretly.
That's what I think. But I like when Iyanla was saying, you know, a lot of times, even if it comes to like a trial separation, you have to be apart in order to work on you.
Yes.
Instead of trying to fix this marriage, how about fix you? And then what she said, bring a better you back to the union. Yes. And I like that.
Yeah, because when she found out the dude was thinking about suicide, and she still married the cat.
Because I think the way they were talking is if he was broken when they got married.
Yeah, like, did he ask you to marry him when he had a gun in his hand? Marry me because, you know, it's about to go.
She asked the woman, like, did you marry him because you just wanted to get married, or did you think that this was the man that God had?
I think that's a real question for women, because you know, marriage or weddings, I think they want a wedding, but you know they forget about the marriage part. You know, they want their day, and after that, you know, they forgot they got to live with the man.
And I think a lot of times men think we forget the same thing.
No, we don't want that shit anyway.
We don't want the wedding.
We don't want the marriage, the wedding, you know. But
there are some of us who wouldn't mind being married.
I mean, we don't. This ain't mine.
Keyword.
We don't mind.
My bad.
You know, I love this woman.
I have to shut up.
I'll marry her because she wants to get married, and that'll make her happy.
But how about you don't get married until you change your statement and say, I want to get married to her because I love her and I want her.
That's the ideal situation.
That's how mine is going to happen.
Okay, might be. We'll see how that
I don't care if we only married for 2 days. That's how it's going to start.
It was love for at least half. I loved you when I married you. And
then I got to know you.
Yeah, and then
you ain't right.
But let's hope. Hopefully they got together. Unfortunately,
the DVR cut off, so we didn't get to actually see.
We're like after they trial, and that's it. We don't know what happened. So
if y'all know, share it with us. Let us know. Did they actually? I think we saw that they completed the 60 days.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They completed it, and that's where we stopped at.
We don't know what happened. So we can't really we can't comment on that. But I did fix my DVR so I can record a little bit after the show, so we can get everything and be able to give you guys a complete
update of the review. But until then, you got any parting words? You out? That mean I'm out.